The hottest team in basketball gets hit with the Minnesota cold as the Timberwolves beat the 4 seed Los Angeles Clippers in Target Center 109 to 105. Clippers were 17-3 in their past 20 games coming into this one and were the number one offense in the NBA over that stretch, averaging I think 124 points per game. You can subtract 20 for that one for their total in this one. Okay, 19, 21, I can't even remember what they had. 19 points is how math works there. To talk about some other math points in this one where you'd think this is a blowout, Timberwolves shot 57% from the floor, 50% from three, out-rebounded the Clippers by 7, had 13 more free throws than them, and the Clippers would shoot 43% from the floor and from three. So you'd think this thing was a blowout. And it was a really great game out of the Wolves. I was so thrilled about how we played, and you see when we're at our best, who can compete with this team? Jaden McDaniels not getting in foul trouble, bringing elite level defense, bringing the offense, being a threat and being active and taking advantage of his opportunities. Who's going to stop that? Well, there is one thing that might stop it, and one thing that kept this game close, that's turnovers. And I bring it up every single video. I don't want this to be a downer. I shouldn't be leading on a downer, but let's talk about it. I brought it up. 19 turnovers out of the Timberwolves in this one versus 11 from the Clippers. They would have 12 more points on turnovers than we did, and we'd have multiple people struggling with that. Also, late game, that's kind of what kept the Clippers around. We were up 14 in the fourth quarter and had a double-digit lead with a couple minutes left. That did almost go all the way around, or all the way down. It was a one-possession game with less than a minute remaining in this one. And puckering of the button was a little bit late in that game, but Rudy Gobert would step up and knock down the 4 most clutch free throws of the game, 4 for 4 from the line when we really needed them, and he was really bad from the line in many stretches of this game. 7 of 14 overall from the line for them. And the Wolves would be in the 60s percent-wise for this game, as Kyle Anderson also missed a couple. And, Rudy was getting clowned by the Clipper bench big time, too, for some early missed free throws, including an air ball. But he stepped up. He recovered. 18 rebounds in this game. He was a monster on the glass. 4 blocks as well. Super impactful. Basically, throughout the game, had a stretch in the fourth where you're like, okay, let's not let Hacker Rudy happen because this is getting ugly. But when he was able to not just be at the line with, he was doing really great. And a lot of that is that Zubats wasn't out there, the Clippers starting center, who has been having sneakily just an elite year for a center. Of course, not like Jokic and Embiid levels, but just been really important to their defense, setting just ungodly amounts of screens all day long and being a great rolling partner for James Harden, putting up double-doubles just about every night. He's been great. He was out of this one. Tyson Plumlee answered the bell, and they played well, but the defense falls off a little bit without Zubats. And he's just better than they are, although they played well. That was just a really fun game. Some really great moments. Slow-mo, we've been having some really fun games out of him lately. I felt like there was the most slow-mo play of all time. He gets the ball kicked to him in the corner. He kind of stumbles, and the ball is losing control in front of him. He turns it into a crossover, slow Euro step gather, and one floater falling out of the baseline. I'm just like, yeah, that's the awkward, what is this do? Okay, and one, it works. It's awkward, but it works. That's Kyle Anderson in a nutshell, and it is so fun. And it was just a joyful moment hitting that fourth quarter corner 3 as well. It's probably the biggest celebration I had all night, except for maybe those clutch Rudy free throws. Also, Karl Anthony Towns had a little double clutch scoop alley-oop to Rudy Gobert that was super fun too. Really great moments in this game. Cat was pretty solid through this one too. Only gets 2 free throws with a ton of contact through that game, but he still played pretty well. Teams really realize that they can just slap a smaller defender on him. They're going to be allowed to be more physical with him, but the moment that he does anything to create contact, their person can fall. And we got that. Cat needs to realize that a little bit more, but boy, it's just a tough dynamic for him to try to work through at the same time. Clippers able to take advantage of that. Russell Westbrook getting a late charge as they're kind of going on their run to close the game. And that would be one of the costly turnovers late in this one. Also, a couple possessions where we only get like 5 seconds off of the clock when we're trying to drain it all the way down, as Mike Conley puts his second hand on the basketball while dribbling, just kind of, I don't know, losing control or a lapse of judgment or something, right after he had got a steal, too. So it's kind of, he gives you the good but instant bad, which is rare for Conley. Usually it's just all good, but just a noticeable turnover with our late game execution as of late, with the issues piling up with the Mavs and Celtics losses. Also, Anthony Edwards pushing in transition when we really should be eating that clock, just loses the ball out of his hands trying to make a pass, and then another really short possession where the Clippers would end up hitting another three and closing that lead. So we got to tighten up with the turnovers. I'm going to just yell it from the rooftops every game until hopefully it gets a little bit better, because this team could be a championship team. You got to clean up the little difference that can get penalized, and you got to be as close to perfect as you can if you want to reach the summit, which I sure hope for this team. And it's looking like the best opportunity we've had in so long. There's a lot of great elements to this team. It's been super fun, and it's a really enjoyable, special group. Got Mike Conley just being a complete deadeye from three-point land this year, having a career year, shooting the ball. It's a lot of fun. Who do I need to talk to that I haven't? I haven't even really mentioned Anthony Edwards. What am I doing? Dude had 33 in this game, 20 points in the third quarter. That's where it really elevated kind of his numbers and his impact. And I feel like with Ant, he just is an ultimate punisher at this point. If the ball swings to him and he ends being the person open, he's going to make that shot. If he has an easy look, good luck. He's going to punish you. You can't slip up against the Stars, or it's too easy for them. They're going to dominate you. And I feel like that's the big difference with Ant. That and the free throw line. He hits 12 free throw attempts, knocks down 11 of them. Also, the Wolves are now 16-2 at home, so that home court advantage is really getting impactful, and it's so wonderful to see. We hope that we can just hold on to this one seed and be able to utilize that advantage throughout the playoffs. That would be hugely important, but it's going to be a really competitive stretch through the rest of this season. Especially tough to probably keep up the motivation with. You can tell a lot of people are kind of losing in the NBA right now, and it's a bit of a struggle, and a lot of people are sitting out too. But that's another wonderful thing about this Wolves team. It seems like our people want to play, and Anthony Edwards is the person that really leads the way on that. He's the star of this team. He's the alpha, and he's like, I'm going to play if I can play. So that really sets the tone and gets you in the good graces of the basketball gods. So I'm excited about that. Let's go, Wolves. Next game, Wednesday, against the pitiful Pistons. Let's go, baby. Oh, my God. No, we're not going to lose against them. It's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. We're a different team now. Yeah.